profiles of local candidates that you'll be seeing on your ballot this November. Last week, I interviewed Russ Fulcher, Idaho's representative from the 1st Congressional District. This week, I spoke with Fulcher's challenger, Democrat Kaylee Peterson. And in tonight's third part of 3, we hear her positions on America's role in foreign wars, her thoughts on the conflict in Gaza, and how she's campaigning back home in Idaho.
I think that we set standards as an international community, and the U.S. specifically is meant to be a leader in this global community. So when we see atrocities perpetrated against civilian communities, there has to be some kind of consequence. I mean, we look at these things happening globally, but the U.S.'s role specifically in this conflict, we have to be extra mindful. And I think everybody in this country is tired of the U.S. going off to war. I think everybody in this country is tired of spending federal tax dollars and sending them overseas. But I think more so than that, everybody is tired of watching civilians pay the price for government and political play.
Peterson said that despite Israel's status as an American ally, she believes the U.S. should hold their government and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accountable for the conflict.
I think holding Netanyahu responsible for what's happening in Gaza and how they've reacted is important. It's important in our role with the global community and in our role of strength. And I don't think we can let somebody off the hook just because we have a friendly relationship with their government.
Pivoting from discussions of foreign conflict, Kaylee explained she spent the last several months driving all over Idaho, interacting with voters.
We are everywhere. I think most people know I am on the road 24/7. So I've driven 46,000 miles this year alone, just going up and down the state, because rural communities do feel left behind, not just by the left, but by politics in general. So we are making sure to reach out to those communities and to be everywhere, from the Canadian border all the way down to the Nevada border. We have a lot coming up. I specifically enjoy I hold Republican town halls, which is when I invite Republican voters to come, what I say, question the Democrat. It's a fantastic way to get to really the root of the issue and to what people actually care about. Yeah. And so we'll have some of those scheduled. We just had one in Canyon County, starting that kind of discourse again and getting people talking about policy in a way that isn't confrontational, right, but instead productive. And that's been fantastic.
Idaho's 1st Congressional District encompasses the Panhandle, extending down into the southwestern edge of the state. We'll continue to bring you interviews with candidates all the way until November. You can read more from this interview and all 3 parts of my interview with her opponent, incumbent Representative Russ Fulcher, on our website at idahonews.com. And although national issues receive most of the headlines in a presidential election year, there are many local issues that are important to residents of the Treasure Valley. We want to give you a chance to share your voice on these issues, and we call it Open Mic. We started in Boise at Ann Morrison Park and spoke to 4 people, starting with a simple question. What's the local issue that's most important to you? On Wednesday, we'll be at Indian Creek Plaza in Caldwell for another open mic. We'll be there from 1 to 2 in the afternoon, and we'll air those interviews on Thursday night at 10.